Hi, welcome. I'm trying to learn history, today Persia, and after we've done it, we're going to do lunch training, and if you participate in the lunch training, then it's better at your. This is part 2 of Persia. Now we're trying to do a presentation, or preparing it. We're going to say first where Iran is, and then we say that it is named after the Iranian people who started to settle there 17,000 years ago. And there were two main tribes, the Medes and the Persians. 670 before Christ. The Medes, together with the Babylonians, the Medes ruled by Xerxes, overthrew the Assyrians. 550 did the Persians overthrow the Medes. The leader of the Persians was Cyrus II. He was the grandson of Astyages. Do we have to mention it? Astyages. This is about Persia, so do we have to name it? Astyages. He was the grandson of it. It just confuses people. Let's not say that. It's too much information. We're going to mention the thing earlier. Xerxes. We mentioned even Xerxes. The Medes overthrew the Babylonians. The Medes were led by King Xerxes. Xerxes. And then they were overthrown by the Persians by Cyrus II. He was the grandson of the Medes king Astyages. Cyrus II had a great army, horsemen and archers. He conquered Lydia and Babylon. We did a video in biographyology about Darius I, so many of his information is everywhere. He overthrew them, Lydia and Babylon, conquered them, and then was, and Persian Empire itself existed when until was ruled by the Achaemenid family. Then destroyed, until it was destroyed by Alexander the Great, 330. When do we name that at the best point? But has to be strategically placed at a good point. At some place, we have to mention that it was ruled by the Achaemenid family until it was when Alexander the Great in 330 ended the ruling at the empire. And when Darius I was previously ruling under him, the empire reached its greatest extent. 521-486 did he rule before Christ. He called himself Shah Hanshad, king of kings. He introduced gold and silver coins and brought also shekels to the Middle East. He built a road system. That did I forgot to mention in the Darius presentation. He split the empire into 20 satrapies, ruled by a satrap. He had king's ears. They were officials by the king, traveling around the country, reporting what was going on. They built luxurious cities and palaces, for example at Susa, and also during Darius' reign at Persepolis. For example, the palace and the city walls of Persepolis have great adorning relics, so it's called great adorning carvings at ward. And also during the time they had priests. They were called magi, one is magus, and they were known for the magic skills, and that is also the origin of the word magic. We did that in etymology. And there was one famous magus, his name was Zarathustra. I'm a bit thinking about making about Zarathustra an episode in Musology. Problem is, and I think it's just really funny, just to say what is written here. A famous magus called Zarathustra unusually worshipped a single god, Ahura Mazda. His god's evil enemy was Angra Mainyu. Just without any musical context, just Zarathustra. Now whatever. There was one magus who was called Zarathustra, and he was, so we mentioned that to the Persian Empire. Is a story leading up to something? There was one magus. He was called, or his name was Zarathustra, and he was worshipping Ahura Mazda. Zuzu Persepolis, Shahanshad. Oh, there were more names. Xerxes and Astyages. It's everything. Darius the first. Zarathustra, Ahura Mazda. He was worshipping Ahura Mazda. But there was also an evil god. I don't know who no his god's evil. The evil enemy of Ahura Mazda. Or in general, or of him personally, or whatever. Angra Mainyu. 521, 486. Xerxes. Astyages. It's actually Astyages. It's so easy. Astyages. Xerxes. Astyages. Susa. It's Susa. This is Susa. Zarathustra, Ahura Mazda. It's actually Mazda. I'm pretty sure the car company is named after. It can't be real. Angra Mainyu. I haven't had that. Angra Mainyu. Astyages. Just Astyages. 630, 550. Mind you, actually, it's too early to do a presentation. Angra Mainyu. Menu. Let's try. Yes, it won't work out. Who were the tribes? Persian and the Medes? Persia. There is Europe and there's Asia, and then the south of them there's the Middle East, and there is today's Iran. And there were 17,000 years ago the Aryan people, two main tribes, the Medes and the Persians. And then 670 did the Medes overthrow who? With the Babylonians, the Assyrians. Persia. There's Europe and there's Asia, then there's the Middle East with Iran there. And at the region where today Iran is, there were 17,000 years ago, the Aryan tribes, two main tribes, the Medes and the Persians. When 670 before Christ, did the Medes together with the Babylonians overthrow the Assyrians, but then in 550 before Christ, the Medes were themselves overthrown by the Persians. Xerxes was the leader of the Medes by 670, and now the overthrown king of the Persians was Cyrus II. Now, he was himself a grandson of Astyages, who was a leader of the Medes. Now, and Cyrus II, now 550, he became to power, and he built out the Persian Empire. He overthrew Lydia and Babylon, and he had good archers and horsemen, and he built up now the Persian Empire. When Darius I, he was ruling from 521 until 486, came to rule, he called himself Shahanshad, which means King of Kings. He brought chickens to the Middle East and introduced also gold and silver coins. And under him, the Persian Empire reached its greatest extent. He splitted the Persian Empire into satrapies, regions, 20 satrapies ruled by a satrap. And he had king's ears, called king's ears, persons, officials, they were traveling around the country and reporting back to him what was going on in the country. And cities were built during that time, luxurious cities with palaces, for example, Susa and Persepolis. And in Persepolis there was also the palace of Darius I. And there were rich and adorning carvings at the walls of Persepolis and also at the temple. And the priests, they were called one magus or multiple magi, and that is also the origin of the word magic. And it was said about them that they could have magic skills, or that they had magic skills, and one of them was Zarathustra, and he was worshipping unusually one single god, Azuzu Mazda, and there was an evil one, Ahura Mazda. You don't have time with it. I'm not sure if it's really that helpful if I say it all that fast. Ahura Mazda. Angra Mainyu. Now, how about that? We're doing a lunch training. We have actually time for one more take. But let's just learn it completely again to the point where we can do a presentation, which will stick very better in the brain over a longer time if we are a second time later on at the point where we can say it all down in the presentation. That means, so far into the presentation, I'm going to stop the second camera. And we will do another part of history. These are so many things we have here over Persia. Let's just do it again. And then maybe a bit slower. And we'll also mention the thing with Alexander. And Ahura Mazda. And there was an evil god, and he's called Angra Mainyu. Angra Mainyu. Now I think that will be of advantage. Now, if you were here for history, you can calculate the next part of history. We will do another lunch training. If you can participate in the lunch training, then it's better if you hold one foot up, point the foot down, and bring the leg up. Bring the foot up, and down, and up, and down. And the other leg up. Now bring the foot up and down. And now, take the leg at the ankle. Make a straight leg, and bring your knee down to the ground. And the other leg. Take the ankle into the hand. Take the ankle with the hand, and make a straight back and point the knee down to the ground. And next exercise. The first exercise. We're going into 1990 lunge. Both legs are having 90 degrees. We're taller than the back, and the person will be outside against the knee. Now over to the other side. Again 90. Taller than the back, and the person will be outside against the knee. Out to the other side. 150 degree lunge. Taller than the back, and pull at the leg up. And again over to the other side. 130 degree overlap lunge. Taller than the back, and pull my leg up. Over to the other side. And now 150 degree lunge, taller than the back, and pull a little bit underneath the knee at the top of the shin bone. And over to the other side. 150 degree lunge, taller than the back, and pull at the top of the shin bone. Over to the other side, and already the last exercise. The rock jumper. Going into full lunge or runner's lunge. And now pull again with the toe back at the top of the shin bone. And on to the other side. Full lunge. Toe up with the back. And pull at the top of the shin bone. And the other side. Now do the walker in the middle. And bring one leg up and point the foot down. The other leg up and point the foot down. And Vikas hilltop stretch. Heel onto the ground and pull the toes in. Put to the left and pull the toes in. Put to the right and pull the toes in. In the middle, pull the toes down. Other heel onto the ground and pull the toes in. Put to the right, pull the toes in. To the left, pull the toes in. In the middle and turn leg from left to right. Now leg shoulder wide apart, breathe in as the arms up. Breathe out, lean back, draw the shoulder blades together. In and up. Out, lean back. In and up. Take the feet together, breathe out, lean to the side. In into the middle. Out to the other side. Breathe in into the middle. Out, lean back. Into the middle. Out, the hands down. Legs wide apart, breathe in. Cross the legs. And breathing out. That was the lunge training. I thank you very much, and until next time.